Hey guys! Today's video is must-watch 70s classic horror or suspense thriller movies. If you're a fan of scary movies, here are some hidden classic gems that I recommend for you to watch. Now, if you did not know, it was really the 1970 filmmakers that paved the way and set the standards of all scary films. May it be horror, sci-fi, suspense or thriller. Most of the best scary movies you've seen so far are just remakes of these original classics. Before I show you the list, I just want to say that although trailers would be good to have here, the list of movies I watched, that I am now recommending for you to see, is quite long. So I may be making separate videos for the trailers. For now, just watch this. 1973 The Exorcist. If you haven't seen or heard of this movie yet, I don't know which planet you're from. 1974 The Texas Chainsaw Massacre with its famous slasher, Leatherface. 1976 The Omen. You're basically watching the movie of Satan's Child. A remake of this film was done in 2006. 1978 Dawn of the Dead, again, by one of my favorite movie directors, George Romero. This is his second film in his series of zombie films. 1977 The Hills Have Eyes. The film follows the Carters, a suburban family targeted by a family of cannibal savages after becoming stranded in the Nevada desert. One of the famous slasher franchise films, 1978 Halloween. Starring your one and only, Michael Myers. 1976 Carrie. The film is about a shy 16-year-old who is consistently mocked and bullied at school, who showed terror using her unknown supernatural powers during their prom night. Originally titled Day of the Woman, this is 1978 I Spit on Your Grave. The film tells the story of a fiction writer based in New York City who exacts revenge on each of her tormentors after 4 men gang rape and leave her for dead. Alien is a 1979 science fiction horror film. It follows the crew of the commercial space tug Nostromo, who encounter the eponymous alien, an aggressive and deadly extraterrestrial set loose on the ship. The Last House on the Left is a 1972 American exploitation horror film about the kidnapping and torture of Mari Collingwood on her 17th birthday by a group of criminals. Frightmare, also known as Cover Up and Once Upon a Frightmare, is a 1974 British horror film that focuses around Dorothy and Edmund Yates, who have recently been released from a mental asylum, and is one of Pete Walker's most notable films. Jaws is a 1975 American thriller film directed by the one and only, Steven Spielberg. In the film, a man-eating great white shark attacks beachgoers at a summer resort town. 1979 The Amityville Horror. The film is based on Jay Anson's 1977 book of the same name. Do I need to say more about what this movie is about? Didn't think so. 1977 Exorcist II. This is part of the very first Exorcist movie done in 1973. The film is set 4 years after the original film and centers on the now 16-year-old Regan McNeil, who is still recovering from her previous demonic possession. Trilogy of Terror is a 1975 American made-for-television anthology horror film featuring 3 segments, each based on unrelated short stories by Richard Matheson. 1978 Piranha. The film tells the story of a river being infested by lethal, genetically altered piranha, threatening the lives of the local inhabitants and the visitors to a nearby summer resort. Following the first Steven Spielberg's Jaws, the second sequel Jaws 2 came out a few years later, 1978. Last but not the least, 1975 The Stepford Wives. An American satirical psychological horror film based on the 1972 novel of the same name by Ira Levin. Its plot follows a woman who relocates with her husband and children from New York City to the Connecticut community of Stepford, where she comes to find the women live unwaveringly subservient lives to their husbands. So, that's it for my 70s classic horror films I recommend you watching. Not sure if they're up to your taste, but when I watched them, they certainly were mine. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.